I'd always been into cars. I'm told by my father that the first word I ever said was car, so I think everybody knew where I was going. Then when I hit 17, I decided that I needed to get into a mews garage. One came up in Hampstead, and that was called Dale & Mews, and we were number 7, which was quite an interesting number. And within a few weeks, I was lucky. I ended up with 5 mews garages in Dale & Mews, and I stayed there for about thick end of a year, and it was getting more and more chaotic. You can imagine parking, all that kind of thing. And then somebody tipped me off a certain garage in Highgate Village. The people were in financial trouble and it was going to be closed. So I immediately got in touch with them. Can we discuss? He said, yeah, of course. And I agreed to buy it, started running it as a car dealership should have been run. So I closed the petrol forecourt and we used that for cars, which was much more suitable. And then it became obvious again that I was going to have to find something bigger. And I was very lucky because I knew the owner of this dealership. It was a Vauxhall dealership. And I said to him, if you ever want a part company, please give me a call. So about a year later, maybe a bit longer, I get a phone call. Can you come and see me? Yes, of course. And we agreed immediately terms, and I bought the place. And that's where it got amusing, because I got this phone call from Vauxhall saying, Mr. Michaels, can you come and see us? And they said, we're sorry to inform you, Mr. Michaels, but we've got bad news for you. Said, you can't have a Vauxhall franchise. And I said, well, maybe I've got bad news for you. And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, I don't want full stop an effing Vauxhall franchise. They said, well, what are you going to do with it? I said, do you know how to spell BMW? They looked at each other and they said, well, you mean you're going to use it for BMW? I said, absolutely. It's going to be a BMW dealership. And that was the end of that conversation. It was BMW until 2014 when they changed their mind and made it into what it is today. Unfortunately, my late wife, we had these ideas of doing a restaurant. So we designed it very much as a restaurant, spent the money as a restaurant. I then opened it after she passed away, and it started to work very well. And then along came Brexit, and Brexit just killed it completely. The majority, if not the whole of our staff, were either Italian, French, some German, and you just couldn't get English staff to fill the hole. So I decided we'd shut it, which we did. It was a great shame, but I had no option. This idea came into my head that maybe we should do something that doesn't need so many staff, but we can still utilize the facility. So along came pizzas, and they're still with us today and doing very well. A foodie paradise as well as a car paradise. I was in Dale & Mews, as I explained, and we used to sell primarily Jaguar E-types. I sold one and took in part exchange a 356, and I had no idea that a car could feel that solid. And I drove it back to my house, came back the next morning and said, I think I'm going to want to do something with Porsche. So I got in touch with Porsche. It took quite a long time, but we got a Porsche franchise, which we had for a little while, but it wasn't the right time. They were quite expensive and so on and so forth. But I always had a love affair with them. After a while, we started selling more and more used ones. It just became obvious we were going to be a 911 specialist. We still are. Well, it's definitely been an evolution. For us, it's driven by 911s. But like everything in life, unfortunately, today it's not about selling them, it's about buying them. And it's seriously difficult to buy. You know, the problem is people quite often don't realise the condition their own cars are in. So they haven't spent the money to keep them in the proper condition, which we have to spend that money before we can sell them. So luckily I've got a very good guy up in my workshop who knows Porsches backwards, which is very good, except that means we spend a bloody fortune on them.
My name's Bill Nathan. I'm the sales manager here for Hexagon Classic Cars. We've got a mechanical workshop, a body shop, an engine shop, 3 valeting bays, and a great team. Yeah, the mechanical workshop is a mixture. We're mostly Porsche at the moment. We take in Astons, we take in Jaguars, we do the odd Alpha and the odd BMW. Mechanical, restorations, service, and a lot of advisory work with people wanting to upgrade their car or want different things put in the car. Yeah, there's nothing we can't undertake here. We do full restoration of cars. We do quote for body work and do that as well. We also have a trimmer that comes here and we can do any trimming work you want done. It's done in-house and he comes here to do it. It's a lifeblood for us because we don't have a stock of parts here. We had the odd part, but we don't have a definitive part situation. We know what cars are coming in. We pre-book parts so that the service time is not wasted while they're here. And we get most of our parts from very partners to us for getting the parts into this place. Every day is different here, and I've been around a long time, some say too long, but every day is different, and every day you learn something. You know, we've got a great customer base, and it's growing, and we don't hide anything. We share. They come and talk to the guys who are working on the cars. We're very informal. We're not formal. We show them this place because we're proud of it, and I've got a team that, you know, I've got round holes, and they're all filled with round pegs, and they know what they're doing. They've got strengths in different departments, but when they work together, and they do work together, it works very well.
I thought I wanted to go into single-seater racing, and I bought this Formula 5000 car. Willie Green was the person I thought was going to come with us into F1. So we did a couple of races, Silverstone, Brands Hatch, but we were running 18th, 19th, and my ego won't allow that, I'm afraid. You know, if I'm going to have a car, I don't mind first, second, third, fourth, but I definitely don't want to be 17, 18, 19, 20. Through Bernie Eccleston, he said, well, give this guy a run for his money. So I got together with John and we did a test at Silverstone, and within, I don't know, 10, 15 laps, we were 2 seconds under the lap record. So I thought, this will do. And from there, it all moved on to Formula One. Then got a BT42, and we did some, what you'd call local races, I suppose. And then I decided to take it on board properly and do a season, which we did. And halfway through the season, we were very lucky. I got from a 42 into a 44. And a BT44 was a brilliant car. It was quite funny because we started to do too well. Certain powers at the top weren't particularly happy with that. So anyway, the rest, as they say, in history, but we went properly into Formula One the following year and had a very good season. And for the Italian Grand Prix, we were 4th quickest, which was, for a private team, was unheard of. But the trouble was, and I didn't realise the politics of this, we went faster than the team cars. And so suddenly we couldn't get bits. So for the last races of the year, we were racing on what we had, which was all a bit difficult. Just double the money you think you're going to spend, because they're expensive toys and you've got to take them to people that know what they're doing, because otherwise they won't be done properly. And it's, you know, there are people out there, but you've got to find them. And then don't put time, you know, because it all takes forever to do properly. Well, from where it started to where we are now, it's not that far away. We're still in the same area.
Yeah, that's true.
And still chasing the same cars. Yeah. And I've been through the franchise business and it's not for me anymore. So today it's very much, you know, eat and enjoy.